The air in the San Diego Municipal Courthouse hung heavy, charged with anticipation. The gallery buzzed with whispers as spectators leaned forward, eyes fixed on the defendant's table. It seemed too large for the young woman standing beside it. Her posture relaxed, but her gaze sharp. Amara Tate, 20, faced charges of burglary and evading arrest, serious accusations that could derail her life. Yet she stood with a quiet confidence that unsettled the room. Judge Evelyn Harper, perched behind her bench, adjusted her glasses and surveyed Amara with a skeptical frown. Her fingers tapped rhythmically on the oak desk. "You're sure you want to represent yourself, Ms. Tate?" Her tone carried a mix of doubt and impatience. "This isn't a game." A ripple of laughter passed through the courtroom. Spectators, the bailiff, even the prosecutor, Victor Langston, smirked. Amara didn't react. She'd spent years preparing, not for this exact moment, but for a world that underestimated her. Raised by her uncle, a retired court clerk, she'd grown up surrounded by legal texts and case files. While her peers scrolled social media, Amara studied precedent, dissecting trials in her mind. By 16, she could argue points of law better than some attorneys. Today, she'd put that to the test. "I'm sure, Your Honor," Amara said, her voice steady. The laughter faded. Judge Harper sighed, flipping open the case file. "Let's keep this moving. Mr. Langston, proceed." The prosecutor rose, his tailored suit pristine, his smile practiced. "Your Honor, the state will prove that Amara Tate broke into a private residence on June 10th, stealing jewelry valued at $15,000. When police responded, she fled, leading officers on a foot chase through Mission Valley. Her fingerprints were found on a window at the scene. The evidence is undeniable." The gallery murmured. On paper, the case seemed airtight. Judge Harper nodded slightly, her expression suggesting she'd already made up her mind. "Go on," she said. Langston paced toward the jury, his voice smooth. "The defense may claim this is a misunderstanding, but ask yourselves, why run if you're innocent?" He glanced at Amara, expecting her to shrink under his stare. She didn't. Amara stepped forward, her hands clasped behind her back. "Your Honor, before we continue, I'd like to clarify something with the prosecution." Langston raised an eyebrow. "By all means." "You said my fingerprints were on a window at the residence, correct?" Amara asked. "That's right," Langston replied, crossing his arms. "Confirmed by forensic analysis." Amara nodded, turning to Judge Harper. "Your Honor, I move to question the admissibility of that evidence. The prosecution hasn't provided the forensic report or called the analyst to testify. Without that, there's no chain of custody, no verification of the process. For all we know, those prints could have been mishandled." A hush fell over the courtroom. Langston's smile wavered. Judge Harper leaned forward, intrigued despite herself. "You're saying the evidence is unreliable. I'm saying we can't know," Amara replied. "Not without the analyst here to confirm how the prints were collected, stored, or matched. I have a right to cross-examine." The gallery stirred. A juror scribbled a note. Langston cleared his throat. "Your Honor, the report was submitted in discovery. It's standard procedure." Amara didn't miss a beat. Standard procedure doesn't mean infallible. If the prosecution is so confident, why not bring the analyst to testify? Judge Harper's eyes narrowed, flicking to Langston. "Counselor?" Langston hesitated, a fraction too long. "We have no objection to verifying the report, Your Honor." Amara allowed herself a small nod. The first crack in the case had appeared. She turned to the jury, her voice clear. "The prosecution wants you to believe fingerprints equal guilt, but let's think about that. Say you touch a door handle at a coffee shop. Hours later, someone robs the place. Are you the thief because your prints are there?" A juror tilted her head, considering. "I live 2 blocks from the residence. I walk that street daily. I could have touched that window while passing by, maybe checking a reflection or brushing against it. That doesn't mean I broke in." Langston scrambled, flipping through his notes. Your Honor, the defendant's attempt to explain away evidence doesn't change the fact that she fled from police. Amara faced him directly. Did I? Your Honor, I'd like to submit evidence, security footage from a convenience store 3 blocks from the scene, time-stamped at the time of the alleged chase. It shows me buying a drink, not running from anyone. The courtroom buzzed. Judge Harper raised a hand for silence. You have this footage? My uncle obtained it from the store owner, who's willing to testify, Amara said. The police report claims I was chased from the residence, but I was never there. I was arrested nearby, walking home. The officers assumed I was their suspect. Langston's face tightened. Your Honor, this is a last-minute stunt. Is it? Amara interjected, holding up a document. This is the police report. It describes the suspect as wearing a red jacket. The store footage shows me in a black hoodie. The prosecution ignored this discrepancy. The gallery erupted in whispers. Judge Harper banged her gavel. Order! Mr. Langston, is this accurate? Langston fumbled, his confidence crumbling. We need to review the footage, Your Honor. Harper exhaled, her gaze shifting to Amara with new respect. I'm inclined to allow it. If the footage contradicts the report, this case has serious issues. Amara pressed her advantage. One more thing, Your Honor. The homeowner, Miss Clara Nguyen, gave a statement to police that the thief was someone she didn't recognize, described as taller and older than me. That statement wasn't included in the prosecution's filings. I wonder why. The courtroom fell silent. Langston's jaw clenched, but he had no response. Judge Harper leaned back, her fingers steepling. After a long pause, she spoke. I've heard enough. Case dismissed. The gallery exploded. Some gasped, others clapped. Amara stood still, letting the moment sink in. Judge Harper met her eyes, her expression unreadable but softer than before. Ms. Tate, she said as Amara turned to leave. You've got a sharp mind. Ever thought about law school? Amara smiled faintly. I'm already planning on it, Your Honor. Outside, the San Diego sun blazed. Reporters swarmed, shouting questions. Amara, how did you outsmart the prosecutor? What's next? She pulled up her hoodie, ignoring them. Her uncle Marcus waited at the foot of the steps, shaking his head with a grin. You're gonna give me a heart attack, kid. Had to do it, Uncle, she said, hugging him. Across the street, Judge Harper watched from her car, her usual sternness replaced by something like admiration. She'd expected a routine case, but Amara had turned it into a reckoning. The system had been challenged, and it blinked. This wasn't just about one case. It was about a system that too often rushed to judgment. Amara had the knowledge to fight back, but how many others didn't? She knew her next step. Law school, then a career holding the system accountable, and she wouldn't be alone. If this story resonates, share it. The justice system runs on people, and people can change it, but only if we demand it. Keep the conversation alive, because next time it could be someone you know.